And according to Donald Trump himself, Britain's best pollster. Maybe we'll get a chance to talk about.
First off, shame on you. Shame on you, Paul Joseph Watson. Why are you using light mode? Come on. You've been in the game for so long. You must know. Someone's told him, I imagine. Or is it because it's just one other way of achieving racial purity? Because that would make sense. I could see that. Like, I will never switch to dark mode because I am a pure Aryan brother. Gotta talk about the Great Reset. This is huge, everybody. Canada's finally back. We're making news. Everyone's been so obsessed with America. America! That's all we ever talk about. America! Now we've got international news, alright? We've got connections. The Great Reset trends on Twitter after Justin Trudeau says corona pandemic has provided opportunity. Some claim the WEF agenda is a conspiracy theory. Oh. The Great Reset began trending on Twitter after Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said the coronavirus pandemic has provided an opportunity for a reset. Trudeau made the comments during a United Nations video conference in September, but they were only just receiving attention. Building back better means getting support to the most vulnerable while maintaining momentum, reaching on the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and the Sustainable Development Goals. Now, you're probably confused, to say the least, what is happening, and allow me to explain. So this, again, was an old video in which Trudeau was talking about something which is often brought up by myself, people far more intelligent than myself, such as Richard Wolff, has spoken about this in detail, about how the moment is calling right now for something massive, to say the very least. Something similar to the New Deal. During the time of FDR, when we were in the middle of the Great Depression, all of a sudden we needed something large, grandiose, if you will, something that could actually try and change course from the current paradigm that we find ourselves in. And so that is basically what Trudeau is hearkening to. Trudeau, of course, is the king of performative wokeness. He doesn't actually believe the things he believes. He'll wear blackface and then go to a Black Lives Matter rally where he'll kneel and he'll say, "My name is Takuni Kinte, Wakanda forever," and other proclamations of that nature. But at the end of the day, he's not really going to do anything. He's anyways. This got picked up just now by what I assume is a Canadian QAnon account called Durfanon, but then it was reiterated by none other than Ezra Klein. Ezra Klein also tweeted it out, as if this is somehow new, as if this just happened, and all of a sudden we're in the middle of the Great Reset. Now it's happening.
Building back better means getting support to the most vulnerable while maintaining our momentum on reaching the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and the SDGs. Canada is here to listen and to help. This pandemic has provided an opportunity for a reset. This is our chance to accelerate our pre-pandemic efforts to reimagine economic systems that actually address global challenges like extreme poverty, inequality, and climate change. Building back.
So again, old news. Nothing that you think would do anything other than just... Oh, shit. What do we got here?
And we are back with another exciting installment of Newsmakers here with Summit.News with me, Paul Joseph Watson. And I'm joined by the host of Delling Pod podcast on Apple, also London Calling podcast, another excellent listen. The website is dellingpolworld.com. All these links will be in the description, as well as another title that he's assumed, which is President-elect, which is a title that several people have assumed over the past few days. And according to Donald Trump himself, Britain's best pollster. Maybe we'll get a chance to talk about.
First off, shame on you. Shame on you, Paul Joseph Watson. Why are you using light mode? Come on. You've been in the game for so long. You must know. Someone's told him, I imagine. Or is it because it's just one other way of achieving racial purity? Because that would make sense. I could see that. Like, I will never switch to dark mode because I am a pure Aryan brother.
Paul, it's so good to be on your show. It's a long time since I saw you, and it's good to be back.
Good to have you. Appreciate it. Now we're talking about the Great Reset, and you wrote this article for Breitbart. I think it was about 10 days ago now, but it was a big article. Title, Only Donald Trump Can Save Us from the Great Reset. Let's set the table here. We've talked about this many times on the show. What is the Great Reset? Who is behind it? And how will it impact our lives if, God forbid, it's implemented?
Yeah, the Great Reset sounds, if you don't know, if you've kind of half heard of it, it sounds like one of those tinfoil hat conspiracy theories that couldn't possibly be real. But to all those people who think that, I'd say it's not a conspiracy if they're telling you what they're doing. The Great Reset is the brainchild of a guy called Klaus Schwab. He looks like a Bond villain. He's a German or a Swiss in his H's now. He's bald and he.
He's a German or Swiss. We're not entirely sure. I mean, pretty much the exact same thing. It's just all parts of that cesspool. Disgusting.
He talks in this slightly sinister German accent.
Sounds
and he's
like
the
Dr.
guy
Strangelove.
who invented. He is like Dr. Strange. He's like Blofeld, actually. He needs to get himself a cat. If he hasn't got a furry Persian cat, he needs to get one sharpish because it would be a good look for him. So this guy, many years ago, he founded this thing called the World Economic Forum, which we probably know better as Davos. And Davos is not some conspiracy theory. Davos, as we all know, because we see it in the newspapers and on our screens every year, is the place that the global elite fly to in order to discuss how we little people should live. It's sometimes been described as the place where billionaires go to lecture millionaires on how ordinary people should live. And Klaus Schwab is the guy who devised this whole enterprise. And it's been very successful. I mean, even the president of the USA goes there. All the world leaders go there. They all appear on its panels. So it's not some kind of too big.
So, if I can just bring things, I'm going to have to temper expectations a little bit here, everybody. The Great Reset, what they're speaking about, Davos, the billionaire elites, the globalists, if you will. Again, half of it is true. There are the wealthy elites. They do control the world under capitalism. If you have more capital, you have more power. That's just how things work. Now, they like to usually target a few specific ones. I'm not going to say why. I'm sure you can get those brackets in the keyboard if you want to pick that up. But they usually don't target the ones that are obviously the ones ruining our lives. They don't target the Koch brothers, for example, because the Koch brothers kind of fund a handful of their institutions. They usually target, you get your choice between George Soros or fill in the other blank, if you will. But when they're talking about this and this giant conspiracy, that this is apparently something we have to really worry about, the Great Reset, they're speaking about this from the World Economic Forum. There's an urgent need for global stakeholders to cooperate in simultaneously managing the direct consequences of the COVID-19 crisis to improve the state of the world. The World Economic Forum is starting with the Great Reset Initiative. Now, actually sounds pretty benign. It actually sounds like things that are completely necessary. Here's the thing, though, and this is coming as a leftist. I do not usually trust within, liberals, neoliberals specifically, and deeply entrenched rich capitalists to solve the world's problems. They've had a long time to prove whether or not they'd be interested in that, which for a long time it didn't make sense to me. Isn't sustainability in terms of like you living on the planet and not having the planet burn up as a direct result of all the fossil fuel extraction, isn't the long-term goal to be able to keep making money? So if you want to keep making money, doesn't it behoove you, if you will, to not kill yourselves or kill all of us, so you could keep selling us things? That makes sense, right? Like, it's not as if a drug dealer would sell someone drugs and then ideally they don't want them to OD. I mean, in theory, they want to keep selling them the drugs so they can keep using the drugs. That would be it. But then you have a problem. in the hierarchy of the drug dealers, there's of course the suppliers, and the suppliers have realized that it's way cheaper for them to put a little bit of this one substance called fentanyl in with their drugs. So instead of selling them a giant pile of expensive, delicious cocaine, they now can remove a lot of that cocaine, put in just a teeny little bit of this fentanyl, and then they'll make more money because they have a financial incentive to keep making more money, and they don't really care about what happens. So then when that product is then given to the lower, smaller level dealers, they then sell that drug to their users, and then unfortunately for them, figure out that their users are dying. I'm not saying the whole thing is a perfect metaphor for the capitalist system we find ourselves in with the energy sector, but there are some parallels, to say the least. Oh, this looks interesting. Nothing like watching the World Economic Forum
and with
live Zoom stream. Oh yeah. This looks
transitioning now from.
So now I understand. Like, if I took one look at this, I would definitely start feeling a little bit like Paul Joseph Watson. I would take one look at this and be like, oh yeah, there's a conspiracy. I mean, I can see it happening right here. This is happening in real time, right? What's funny though is that because of all this, it starts trending on Twitter. And again, trending because Ezra Klein found an old clip from Justin Trudeau. He put it up on the internet. And again, look how scuffed it is. It's the same video going around. It's this one, like where someone filmed it on a cell phone.
Means getting support to the most vulnerable while maintaining our momentum on reaching the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development.
Cool. And then it trends to the point where we got Tim Pool tweeting about this today. LOL at the Great Reset trending. Here it is, the Great Reset. And again, was Alex Jones right again? Awesome. Scroll down and look at the partners. Amazon, Deutsche Bank, PayPal, Pepsi. Nothing to see here. Yeah, no, I mean, there's so much overlap right now with some of these really deeply entrenched populist LARPers, like your Tucker Carlsons and your Tim Pools, who are all talking about these kind of things. And yes, there are a whole bunch of rich people who own and control everything. But again, it's not a secret. I mean, this information is publicly available. You can see it at any time. Well, we've been reset, y'all.
Hey, we want to mutual aid you to get some eyeballs on your work. So if you have a leftist YouTube channel or Twitch stream or something you want us to advertise, just send us a 20 to 30 second ad using the forums at weareserfs.com. We'll do our best to help you out. And please submit once per channel.
To our gods, Unwrapped, and Xander Forbes, we shall build temples in your honor. To our monarch, Tom Spiker, we live to do your bidding. To our lords, Jeffrey Lamb, Trevor R., Stephen, Nine Tails Cosmic Fox, Aunt Josephine, Poppy Nelson, Ryan Lubin, Jimothy K. Meeble Beeps Jr., we bow meekly for your pleasure. And to our Knights of the Round Table, Josh Mickelson, Dylan Veit, Zach Christensen, Todd Buckingham, Todd Lajeunesse, Political Puppy, Ali Menthal, Jimmy Big Nuts, Andreas Chitoro, Good Poon Hates Cops, That's Solid Poon Then, Dr. Zayas, Joppy, Violent Orchard, Sophie Baby, Jack Darko, Thomas Barrington, J. Fraser Cartwright, Goofalankius, Melissa Murphy, Nicholas Marks, Alexander Thaler, Ramon Acosta, and Ali Retta Jaffer. We salute you. Love you all. Peace.